Hello, good morning everyone. I hope you're doing well this morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subscribers. Shout out to all the new subscribers as well. Welcome along, and gratitude to anybody new as well. Thank you. So let's talk about in and outs, right? This video is going to be about in and outs. It's a very good drill for, you know, all levels really, but as a beginner especially. If you're a complete beginner and you're still trying to understand the basic movements and basic punches, maybe this drill is not for you. But if you've learned a few punches by now, you understand how to jab, how to move, how to throw a basic combination, this drill is going to be excellent for you to understand how to mount your attack. You can just be right here, bam, bam, and then I can press off the front foot, boom, boom, and I'm out. And how to mentally prepare to get yourself out of the attack as well. This is what in and outs are. So before I even attack, my mind is thinking, I'm going to attack and then I'm going to move out. You go in, and then you're out. In a quick flash, because the counter punch is coming, right? This is the essence of boxing, to hit and not get hit. Let's go.
Boxing.
So the art of boxing is to hit and not get hit. This is the absolute purest form of boxing, right? And in and outs is an excellent way to condition yourself and to program yourself to be able to perform, you know, the basic move. Although I say basic, it does have some advancement to it, because there's something involved with the out part, which is called defensive responsibility. Very, very, very important to know. It's performed at the highest level, but it's also, you can train it at the lowest level, right? In a simple form, where if I'm throwing a jab and I throw a slip or a duck straight after, right? Or I throw a cross and I throw a roll, that's defensive responsibility, what you're doing after the punch, right? So this in and out drill, you are conditioning yourself to be defensive, right? But a lot of this will come from developing the thought processes, and this is where the term chess not checkers comes in, right? So if I'm standing before my opponent and I'm like, I'm not just thinking, right, I've got to punch, I've got to hit them, right? Before I've even mounted the attack, I'm thinking, right, I want to hit them and then I want to move out of the way. So it's bang, bang, roll under, move over, whatever it is. But that defense, you're tattooing into your mind, you're programming your mind, so you automatically do it without thinking about it, right? Eventually. Sounds a little high tech, but if you do it enough times in training, if you do it enough times in shadow boxing, and you work on understanding to get in and get out, you can do it all the time. All right, so I'm actually going to change venues as well, because there's a little basketball court that has a nice little circle, which is where basically it emulates the zone that your opponent will be in. Because you got to understand, if you have yourself a circle like this, it helps, because this is like the area that your opponent's going to be in waiting for you, right? So I'm here waiting for someone to attack me. And when you're performing the in and outs, right, as I said, you got to be quick with the footwork. You got to remember, before you've even left your feet, that you're already on your way out, right? There's a timing thing with this drill, right? And there's a speed thing as well. And this is where it can get a little complicated, is that you do have to perform this fairly quickly. I'm out. But in order to do that, try not to lose any technique, right? And it's going to be difficult. So you've got to try to practice and build it up slowly. As I always say, you don't want to go in there going super fast and have flawed technique. Footwork's going to be a big part of this too. Your footwork's going to be important, right? You don't want to have sloppy footwork on your way in. So how many steps you're taking when I'm stepping in is going to really matter, because you're not just going to be able to take one step and then come back like that. Depends where you are, depends where your opponent is. But let's just say, for the sake of the drill, you can just be right here, bam, bam, and then I can press off the front foot, boom, boom, and I'm out. So as I said, I'm gonna talk from here, but I'm gonna transition to the basketball court and show you a closer look at how to actually do this in and out drill. Because essentially, you're on the outside, your opponent's waiting for you, which, if I can get this videography right, it's gonna be me. I'll be me here waiting, right, like this, ready to either throw a counter shot, or, you know, whatever it is, an uppercut, a 1-2, whatever the counter may be. Your opponent, you just have to realize that they're waiting for you to come in so they can strike and hit you. So when you do come in, the footwork's got to be efficient, right? Boom, you got to hit your shots, and whether they land on the gloves, whether they miss, or whether they hit your opponent, you got to be ready to spring back out, right? So before I even attack, my mind is thinking, I'm going to attack and then I'm going to move out. So this is the chest, right? So it's like, boom, boom, I'm out. I'm out. To the side. Yeah? That's the hit and not get hit. Now, when you take a first step back, the quick speed of your step is going to be important. You can just be right here, bam, bam, and then I can press off the front foot, boom, boom, and I'm out. And then I can press off the front foot, boom, boom, and I'm out. Now, you're always told to not go straight back in boxing, but if you've got fast feet, and you've got faster feet than your opponent, and you are moving quicker than them, you know, there are exceptions to the rules, but it's also good to, when you do take a step back, to take a step out to the side, to move your head, to keep being defensive responsible. Boom, boom, and I'm out. Head movement on the way out if I need to, being defensive responsibility. 1, 2, hook, boom, 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 back out, here. Head movement, right? I'm out. To the side, yeah? That's the hit and not get hit. The simplest things to work on would be just a quick 1, 2, or a 1, 2, 3, right? So I'm just right here, I'm like, bam, bam, and I'm stepping back out right here, right? Or a bam, 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 stepping back out here. And this is just something you can drill and drill and drill, so you can get the rhythm of it, because the timing of it, the footwork, as I said, the technique, the defensive responsibility, not just moving out, but once you get out, the danger might not be over yet. You know, your opponent might be following you, so then you've either got to move your feet, move your head, or even punch yourself. So there's a lot of options. Just drilling that into your head, getting the rhythm of it in and out, performing it, getting the footwork right, getting the technique right, and, you know, just slowly building up that conditioning and the programming in your mind to be able to do it on autopilot. As I said, you got to be quick with the footwork. You got to remember, before you've even left your feet, that you're already on your way out, right? When you make that strike, so it's bang, bang, and I'm out, okay? And that's the conditioning, that's the programming that you can do. And if you do that every day, you work on that, and this is style dependent too, you know? You might not want to get out, you might want to be a pressure fighter and work your way in with your head movement and stuff like that. You might be comfortable sitting in the mid-range. That's, you know, videos for a later date, certainly not beginner stuff, but obviously not everyone's going to be able to fight like this or want to fight like this. This is, you know, strictly for the boxers with good feet, good quick combinations, and that's a big part of it too. The combinations have to be bam, bam, and then I'm out, right? Hopefully the audio doesn't trigger when I make these moves. It tends to jolt it, but good way to practice. Start off slow, right? Again, it's going to be a big part of your foot movement, right? So how many steps you're taking when I'm stepping in is going to really matter, because you're not just going to be able to take one step and then come back like that. Depends where you are, depends where your opponent is. Now, as I said, you don't want to go too fast and hinder your technique, but at the same time, speed is of the essence, because as soon as you create that punch, whether you land it or not, you got to get out of there, because that's when the counter punch is coming. I'm out. To the side. Yeah? That's the hit and not get hit. And that is the art of boxing. And this is an in and out drill that you, the beginner, can do immediately in your shadow boxing. Just remember to get good footwork. Remember to get the good technique. When I mean good technique is, if you're coming in like this, you're showing your hands like that, your footwork's a little bit sloppy, it's gonna give away your attack, essentially. Your opponent's going to know when you're punching before you do, and then the in is going to get timed easier, right? So it's a difficult drill to get good at a speedy level, but the goal is to just practice it and develop it, because especially in the amateurs, even in the pros, it's a great tactic to adopt. In and out, hit and not get hit. So it's bam, bam, I'm out. So you don't give your opponent chance to land, because a lot of times they'll be waiting here, they'll come in like that, boom, I might miss, they're already out, you know, they're already gone. Yeah, I hope it made sense. I was a bit pushed out today, but this area here is a little bit lacking of light, at least natural light, this time of day because the sun's up here. But this stuff really matters to me. Anyway, thank you for watching, really appreciate it. Get practicing, you know, simply do it outside when you're shadowboxing. I'm here, boom, boom, I'm here. Back out. But you got to tattoo your brain before you've even thrown the first punch. Think to yourself, right, I've got to get out of here after a punch, right? Boom, 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 bah, 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 bah. Right? It's a defensive responsibility. That's the programming. Anyway, hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. If you enjoyed it too, it's got to come from the heart. And yeah, have a great week. Thank you.
Boxing.
Knowledge.